going to get tea. It's Stephanie White. She has had enough of what she has seen from the officials here today. Understandable frustration from Stephanie White.
Couple of possessions in a row where Leah Boston got the fouls. I thought the first one should have been on Howard. And then here, as Petty's in there, Hillman kind of tosses her to the side a little bit, and that was the straw that broke the camel's back there.
What's worse? Starting game one with half your roster missing, or watching referees tilt the court against you at the biggest moment of your season. That's the nightmare Indiana Fever face against Atlanta. The frustration boiled over. Stephanie White snapped and got a technical for saying exactly what every fan was already thinking. How does a team stitch together with tape and grit survive both injuries and questionable officiating? Was it just bad luck or something that felt like sabotage? Game one has fans furious, players livid, and the league buzzing. Were the Fever robbed? Drop your thoughts in the comments.
Players they have. So Caitlin Clark, Chloe Bibby right there on the bench. But then you have Sophie Cunningham, Sid Colson, Ari McDonald, all actually having to sit separate from the bench. You also have Damiris Duntis.
Imagine entering the playoffs already down 6 key players. That's reality for Indiana. Caitlin Clark, out with a groin injury. Chloe Bibby, knee gone. Sophie Cunningham and Sydney Carlson, same story. Ari McDonald, foot injury. And just hours before tip-off, Dairis Dantas, concussion protocol. 6 rotation players stripped away. Yet Indiana still had to step on the court against a fully loaded Atlanta Dream.
We got the injured reserves here with you guys, which last month, they just weren't able to travel. What does that mean to you specifically, just having them there?
Yeah, I was super excited. I think just looking at the injured squad in itself, they just have a lot of knowledge. And so for us, just being able to listen to them, taking what they see, because obviously just them watching is going to be a different view than us on that court. And so super, super happy to have them with us.
How's that fair to anyone, players or fans? Indiana fought through this all year just to snag the 6th seed. They pieced together lineups like puzzles missing half the pieces. And instead of starting fresh in the playoffs, they rolled into Atlanta with more names on the injury list than some teams carry on their bench.
Obviously, the injured players, they haven't been able to travel, some of them, but most of them are here now. Just how do they help kind of from a culture-wise and with, just bringing some perspective to you guys?
Yeah, I mean, we miss them every day on the court. So to be able to have them we had our plane, front of our plane, normally we have empty seats. It was filled on the way here. So, I mean, they bring energy, they bring light, they bring, their vocal leaders, all of them. So to have them on this trip is huge. And I don't know how we're going to fit everyone on the bench. It's not that long. It's been packed recently. So, I'm excited to see how we figure that out, but it'll be great to have them back with us.
And speaking of the bench, what a scene. The Fever brought all 16 players, injured or not. A show of unity, but also pure absurdity. There weren't even enough seats. Street-clothed players were pushed to a second row, looking like they were waiting to board a flight. You know you've hit the injury lottery when your team literally can't fit along the sideline.
They're finally able to travel from a medical standpoint as well. So, I think having the whole group here, having those guys here gives us a little bit of a boost emotionally. And then having their perspective. I mean, you're talking about 3 point guards that are sitting on the sideline that can talk to our team in huddles, that can talk to our team, throughout the course of dead balls or when they come on and off the floor.
Context matters. Other playoff squads had full rotations, fresh legs, solid backups ready to step in. Indiana, they leaned on whoever could still stand. Holes patched with grit, tape, and prayer. And yet, they still made the postseason 2 years in a row. That's resilience defined.
Come on, Daddy. This is my new team, the medical staff. Oh, yeah.
Sophie Cunningham might have summed it up best. Rehabbing her knee. She jokes she's basically part of the medical staff now. A throwaway line, but it captured the season perfectly. A starter turned sideline cheerleader, joking to hide the frustration. That Indiana, smiling through pain. And despite all that, they came out swinging in Game 1, shocking Atlanta with an early lead. But of course, it couldn't stay simple, because that's when the referees decided to take over.
What the referees did, and I know why Stephanie White got a technical foul. Any coach that had to watch their team work so hard all season long, played through every single injury. And the reason why they had so many injuries is because of these referees.
Every playoff game has swings, but nothing kills momentum faster than whistles that make no sense. Indiana, already shorthanded, punched first. Up 15-6 behind Kelsey Mitchell's hot start and Aaliyah Boston's dominance inside. For a moment, it looked like the impossible was happening. Then the officiating started draining every ounce of energy from the game.
Ryan Howard just falls down, but it's a foul. Like, this is ridiculous. Look at this. Kelsey Mitchell. They don't even let the Fever play defense because she's associated with Caitlin Clark. Look at this one. Another foul where nobody touched him. So they lost the timeout and they lost their challenges for the game because the referees can't do their job.
That rhythm? Gone. Whistles came out of nowhere. Stops that should have sparked fast breaks turned into Atlanta free throws. Clean contests got called as fouls. Indiana fought through screens, only for plays to be stopped and reversed by baffling calls. And it wasn't one mistake. It kept repeating, slowly bleeding the fight out of the Fever's run.
The referees took it over. Look at this. Everybody saw this. Lexi Hall didn't touch her, but they had to waste their first challenge on this play. Here we go. Look at this. She gets elbowed in the face, and they call a foul on Brianna Turner. And then Lexi Hall turns around to go back on defense, but she gets charged for a foul, and they wanted to upgrade it, reviewed it.
Lexi Hall was one of the main victims. She picked up a foul on Ryan Howard despite being in perfect defensive position. White challenged it, and replay proved what we all saw. No foul, but White had to burn both her challenges by the second quarter just to protect her players from bad officiating. Proof the refs were off their game.
Look at this. Boston gets elbowed in the face by Brittany Griner. Do you think they called it? No. And look at this. Lexi Hall did not touch her. Didn't even touch her. And she gets free throws. Here we go. Kelsey Mitchell touched her hip lightly.
Meanwhile, Atlanta's physicality was allowed unchecked. Elbows, shoves in the post, nothing called. If Indiana touched someone, whistle. If Atlanta did, play on. That lopsidedness didn't just show up in the box score. It chipped away at confidence, rhythm, and focus.
Lexi Hall gets thrown out of bounds. No foul, right? Remember that play, okay? Boston, foul. But look at this. So she goes for the ball, and then they call a foul on Lexi Hall. Look at, she says, wow.
By the fourth quarter, frustration exploded. White barked at officials after Ryan Howard tug-shot Petty with no call. The refs hit her with a technical. She voiced exactly what every Fever fan was screaming at home.
Well, Lexi, talk about the physicality of this game and being able, knowing it's the playoff playing in such a physical game like today.
Yeah, I mean, I think we knew coming in it's playoffs, it's going to be physical, and we're going to have to learn how to play with that, especially this team is inherently a physical team. So for us, knowing that's the case and being able to respond, I think there's things that we're able to watch in film on how to handle that better, not letting the refs determine, how that physically is impacting us, but just continuing to play through that. It's definitely something we're going to have to work on and watch film and get better at, but that's part of playoffs, and that's part of the thing that we're going to have to get better at moving forward in the series.
Not long after, Odyssey Sims got tagged too, diving for a loose ball, punished for hustle. Chaos filled the arena. Even Caitlin Clark, in street clothes, had to calm her own coach before things spiraled further. Atlanta thrived in the storm, stretched the lead, and sealed it. And after, headlines weren't about players. They were about refs. Fans asked, did Indiana lose to Atlanta or to officiating?
They didn't stop either. You'd think after 20 of them, look at this. So that's a foul, right? But watch when the Fever do it 2 times in a row. Same exact thing. But it's not a foul when the Fever drive. Look at this. It's not a foul when the Fever get hit in the air, but the Dream get free throws. Same exact plays. Look at this one. What are you supposed to do? Just roll out the red carpet and give him a layup? She is not fouling her. They give her a 3-point play for putting her hands up.
So How do you measure success here? The final score or the fight? On paper, Indiana was doomed. On the floor, they never quit. Kelsey Mitchell led the charge with 27 points, a playoff career high, nearly 50% shooting, plus 4 assists and a block. Every time the offense stalled, she brought it back to life.
Atlanta's had a few of those last few possessions. Mitchell, catch, fire, and hit from 3. What a start. Rebound hits the floor. Hull keeps it alive for Indiana. Mitchell using the screen, dancing around Griner, and able to squeeze it in off window.
But Mitchell couldn't erase what was missing, Caitlin Clark. Without her 25-foot range, Atlanta didn't even bother guarding the perimeter. They packed the paint, cut off drives, and made life hell inside for Aaliyah Boston. Still, Boston scrapped for 12 boards and fought through double teams, even while battling foul trouble. Quiet on offense, but relentless on the glass.
And another chance here for Indiana.
So much length, and it's obvious on the defensive end for Atlanta.
Boston just kind of pushed it up and in. Guarded by Howard. They slide it into Boston. Center of the lane. Turning. It's finishing. Aaliyah Boston. Beautiful move.
Lexi Hull poured her heart out too. 9 points. One of Indiana's rare threes. Endless hustle. Screens fought. Loose balls chased. Energy that kept the team alive. The kind of effort that rarely shows up in the box score. But without it, everything collapses.
Carl Semesco emphasized first just how well she's been playing down the stretch. The efficiency has gotten much better since the second week of August, averaging nearly 20 points a game since then. As Hull 40-33, Atlanta in front. These teams split their 4 regular season meetings as Hull knocks down the 3. Hull gets a step and finishes off the window.
Meanwhile, Atlanta flexed their depth. Ryan Howard and Alicia Gray dropped 20 apiece. Naz Hillman added 16. Brittany Griner's presence carved space for everyone else. Fresh waves, quarter after quarter. Indiana, shooting under 35% with no spacing, simply couldn't keep up when second chances piled up.
Mitchell gets it up beautifully. Boston lays it in.
The number of screens that Aaliyah Boston set on that possession, her stagger, pinned down here. She's going to come up and set another on-ball screen, turn, re-screen action, and then finally rolls to the basket. It ends.
But here's the thing. The Fever never folded. They played until the buzzer. And now, the story shifts to Indianapolis. Game 2, their first home playoff game since 2016. That alone gives this team reason to believe.
I mean, we're competing against everyone. We're in every single game. And I think at the end of the day, we've seen in moments when we're not doing well or games that we've lost, it's really things that we can control. So making sure that we're locked in on all of those things and tidying up those little things, because if we can put together 40 minutes, we feel like we can beat anybody in the league. So we're excited about the opportunity. We're excited that the playoffs is finally here. And now, it's not about what our record was. It wasn't about teams we beat or who we didn't beat during the regular season. It's about Atlanta. It's about this game on Sunday. So that's all we're focused on, and we're really excited about the opportunity.
Picture it. Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Playoff basketball back in Indiana. For the first time in nearly a decade. A season full of injuries and setbacks now condensed into one must-win night. For fans, it's more than a game. It's a statement. Indiana basketball still means something. And the hunger inside that building will be undeniable.
I think we're just really excited about it. I think last year our fans were robbed of getting to be part of the playoff experience. Watching the Pacers in playoff, the fans really do show out, and Gainbridge is loud and crazy and electric. And so to be able to host a game there and be able to bring what they've, how they've supported us so long, be able to give this to them and have a really fun one. I think we're really excited about it. And, I love this new format.
The setup? Dramatic. The Fever season hanging by a thread. Still down the same 6 players, still shorthanded. Clark, Cunningham, Carlson, McDonald, Bibby, Dantis, all out. Atlanta knows the formula. Pack the paint, force rush jumpers, and lean on their depth. Indiana shot just 2, for 15 from deep in Game 1. That must change. Coach White made it clear, sharp ball movement, no wasted possessions, or Atlanta's size will crush them again.
I know that you guys are focused on the game tomorrow, but just with the change in playoff format and knowing that you guys are going to have an opportunity to play at home, does it feel differently this year at all? Even though, again, like, you have to get through tomorrow first. It doesn't feel differently for me. I mean, because I've been in all the formats. As being a player and a coach, I don't know if it feels differently for them. I'm happy for our fans, that they get an opportunity to see the team in the playoffs. I remember a year ago in Connecticut, it was like, thank God we didn't have to go back to Indiana. So I'm thankful for our fans that they're going to have this opportunity.
The pressure is on Mitchell. 27 points prove she can carry them, but she can't be the only one. Someone else has to rise. Boston will battle inside. Hull will scrap for energy, but Turner, Howard, or Hartley need to become reliable scoring options. That's where the crowd comes in. 17,000 fans ready to make every stop louder, every Fever run bigger. This game isn't just about survival. It's about proving this franchise can stand tall through adversity.
Kelsey, given the playoff format change, you guys being able to actually host a postseason game for the first time in your career in Indiana, how much do you expect that to help you guys, to give you momentum, and how just personally excited are you for that?
Personally excited. I'll let you know when I get there. But I think it gives ourselves a chance to stay in a hunt of things we really trying to figure out, a way to come back here whenever we play. We would like to play again. So you're gonna have to take the necessary steps to be at your best. But I would like to think that being back at home can kind of give us a sense of comfort. So hopefully we can use it for what it's worth and not take it for granted.
This series feels less like basketball and more like survival. Indiana's been crushed by injuries, stripped of momentum by whistles, and still, they're fighting. Game 2 in Indianapolis isn't just another playoff game. It's the first since 2016. Everything rides on it. Fever fans must bring every ounce of energy, because one game can flip the narrative. Will the crowd be the spark that keeps the season alive? Were the Fever robbed in Game 1? Let us know in the comments, like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.